We're live.
We're live. We made it.
Back to back weeks recording.
Oh my goodness. And not to mention it's snowing again. I,
It is. Yeah.
yes,
And it's
all
cold.
day long. It is so cold, which is perfect for us because, we can sit in and read, but it's
Yep.
cold out there.
I couldn't sit in and read. I didn't get home till like 3, but I'm here now.
I've kind of been in the house since Friday.
And now you don't really you go pick Cammy up and stuff, but you don't go to work, so
No,
you're
it's
just
so
a
great.
homebody.
Oh, it's so great. It is
I
perfect.
wish. I wish.
Especially when everybody's, like, out of the house, so it's, like, me and just working, and the house is quiet, and I have, like, my candle going or, like, my audiobook in my ear. It's perfect. Oh, it's
You're
lovely.
hilarious. Ridiculous.
Oh, it's
All
great.
right. So today has a new theme. We were trying to come up with something to do that was a little more fun, kind of similar to what we did. I think we did an episode last year, or I did something for socials, but this one's going to be a little different. We're calling it Buy It, Borrow
Mhm.
It, or Bury It.
Bury it.
And I've seen Buy It, Borrow It, Skip It, or Forget It.
Mhm.
But like alliteration is everything. If you're not doing all B's, what are we doing?
I mean, hey, you definitely have a point, and, I mean, I don't think I've come across this one. Like, I do know they have, like, the buy it, but I don't think I've ever seen, like, the borrow it or the bury it, so this was actually really fun for me to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think it started off like, okay, are we just going to recommend some books? And we do have some book recommendations, but
Mhm.
it's kind of like a mix between some things it's kind of, I think we did an in and out. That's what we did. Maybe two
Mhm.
seasons, maybe at the very beginning of last season. It was ins and outs for the new year. And so
Mhm.
a lot of this is like things we, especially for the bury it, are things that we just are sick of seeing.
Mhm.
Tropes we don't like and different things like that. So who
Yeah.
knows? Buckle up. We'll see what this what this comes to.
I think this one's actually gonna be a little bit fun because we didn't just stick to just books, like, kinda
Yeah.
made it a little tropey, like you said. I know I put some stuff in bury it. I was like, "Yes, gotta go, gotta go, gotta
I
go."
know you were brutal. Emily was like, "You guys can't do that." I'm like, "It's our authentic opinions."
Exactly, and that's the best
And
thing
they
about
are
our
just
podcast.
they're just opinions, everybody. You don't have to have the same ones. We aren't smut readers, so we already get
Mhm.
hate for that, but it's not a complete smut bash fest here, so we have some other things we
No,
got to take up gripe with.
but I mean, the books we recommend to buy, definitely you wanna buy those books, I'm just saying.
I
Especially
do not
mine,
disagree whatsoever.
especially mine.
Um no, especially mine. So let's kick it off with Buy It. And these are books that, when you spend your money on books, you're collecting them, you're putting them on your shelves, you're spending your hard earned money. These are the ones that we think are worth it. Like, we don't want you to go out there spending unnecessary money on books that you're never going to reread. That, like, why are they there? Maybe you're not even going to read them. They're going to sit on a TBR pile until one day you get rid of them. So these are books that
Mhm.
we say, like, get that special edition. Like, go buy the pretty
You
sprayed edges.
gotta
Go
buy
get
the
that
pretty
collection.
one, and you can't just get a sprayed edge, you gotta have the sprayed edge. I think I sent that
The
one to
end
you, like, where
papers,
they was
everything.
like yes, I think I sent it to you where she was like, "I don't want a sprayed edge. I want a sprayed edge," and it's, like, all the flowers and all this stuff on
Yeah.
there. I was like, "Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want just a pink, you don't want just a color.
Mm-mm. No, I
No.
want some art on there." I'm a sucker for
So
art.
why don't you go ahead and kick off? What books should we be buying?
Chunky books.
More bang for your
I
buck.
think
That's right.
yes, I think it's definitely important to buy those bigger books because, I mean, like, when you're reading a thick book, it feels like an accomplishment. But if you're, like, reading it on your Kindle, you're just like, "Oh, I'm just tapping, and tapping and just looking at the little percentage." But it's just something about when you actually have that big, chunky book. Oh, no, what happened?
You just flew and you must have done something with your hand. Put your hand up.
I don't know how this thing works. There we go. Okay.
That's what you get for having fancy cam. Look, now you're where you're supposed to be.
Oh, I don't know about this thing.
That was hilarious. I'm keeping that in. I'm not editing that out.
I know you are. That's the funny part. Okay, I have to fix I can't do anything with my hands. Okay, I want the big chunky books. But the big chunky books, like I found that it could be the big fantasy books, because like Mistborn, Brandon Sanderson, those are those bigger books. My historical fiction, it's just something about a big book. The big fantasy, big mystery, I love them.
I love so I'm very frugal when I buy a book. So I look over on the back and I'm like, this 200-page book is $25. I'm like,
Hmm. Oh,
no.
they're so
And then I go
expensive.
over to the fantasy section and we get a big old look. I always have one around me. Big old floppy, thick fantasy book,
Well, see,
$20.
mine's not floppy, but it's
Well, you got a
big.
hardcover.
It's
But
eh,
look at that price. Look at that price.
yes, Bam. Bam came through with the bargain price. I'm telling you.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, buy the big books because
Hmm.
you also had another good point. What were you saying about feeling motivated to read the book?
Yes. So for me, okay. So can I go on a little tangent? I need to go
Go
on a
for
little
it.
tangent. Okay. So when I bought this book like 3 years ago, right? I was intimidated. The size is humongous, let alone the audio is 30 hours. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to tackle that, right? But as I started listening to it and reading it, right, this is a motivation right here. So I have read this much and I have that much to go, right? So it's
Perfect.
like, it's that motivation because as you get further and further through the back of the book, you're like, oh, maybe I'm bored, but I can keep powering through it because I'm almost done. If you're on a Kindle, it's just numbers,
Yeah.
it's just a percentage. You can't do that. But
Yeah.
definitely chonkers.
Chunky books to the
Yes.
rescue. I don't disagree.
I should have got like all my chunky books and just like throw them on the desk.
I immediately thought of something like Priory, like that's a big old book. That's worth the dollars.
It's over there.
I know it is.
All of them.
My thing is I did this perspective from like mostly fantasy, but this a lot of these really apply everywhere.
Mhm.
I'm just going to talk a lot about fantasy because that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm living. But we buy books that are beloved, even if you've
Mhm.
never read it. Like it's a safe bet to
Mhm.
buy these books, like Mistborn. It seems to be the most accessible of his series. Everyone seems to love it. If you're going to take a swing on something,
Mhm.
go ahead and buy a book that you know other people love. Take the risk on that one versus a
Mhm.
book that maybe it's brand new, it's a new author you've never heard of, something like that. So I say beloved series, Mistborn, The Will of the Many. These are
Mhm.
nice, big, chunky books too, and
Yes.
so it's more bang for your buck, but also they're beloved. Everybody's
Mhm.
chatting about them. Everybody's loving them. So buy beloved series.
Yes. Definitely. I agree wholeheartedly. And I will say, you know what? Small disclaimer here, but we were going through our notes. There's actually a lot of stuff Caleb and I agreed on, which doesn't happen often. So I feel like
Yeah.
this needs to go into one of our Hall of Fame episodes
I
because,
want to be very clear. We agreed on the hate. We hate the same things. We have very different tastes in books, but we
uh-huh.
also do not we
Hmm.
got some hate for some books too.
But we both like pretty books,
We
right?
that we do.
We do like the pretty books. I'm a sucker for a gorgeous cover. I'm just saying. I will buy a book
You're
just
also
off of the cover.
a complete sucker for a $1.99 Kindle deal.
Oh, don't get me started.
She is dangerous. She got change in her pocket and she's ready to buy.
Yep, always. I always stay ready.
What else you got?
Actually, the next one, since we were already kind of talking about cozy, we're talking about cozy, books that you want to reread. I'm just going to jump to another type of genre that I necessarily like. But I have really found myself in, don't hold me too tight on this one, but cozy fiction. Not right, see, right, because I don't like cozy,
I don't think that's the
but
right word.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking for, but like healing fiction, Cozy, comforting.
Comfort fiction.
Okay, that's better. Comfort fiction. I don't know what it's called. It just makes you feel
I've
good,
never
right?
heard that term. Maybe I have, but it's not like popular thing. But I think that's what you like.
Mhm.
You like those books that make you feel, and
Yes.
most of the time feel good things because you can
Yeah.
have books that make you feel like a little life, and those aren't comfort books.
We're not gonna
So
talk about A Little Life. I bought it,
that's trauma bonding. That's because it's a chunky book.
and it's floppy. I wish I had it here so I could flop it.
It is, yeah. So comfort fiction, healing fiction. That is
Yes.
definitely Ashley's space.
Yes. So I have found that I really like, in this space, just to get titles, necessarily recommendations, I said, Water Moon because I absolutely adored that book. I loved it. It wasn't where I gave it 5 stars, but it was still a good read. It was an easy, slow, comforting, cozy, loosely lit cozy
Uh,
read, I guess,
yeah, I
right?
think that's in between. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, and then I also liked, When the Coffee Gets Cold. That's a good one,
Still
and
haven't listened to that, but I wanna get that.
I love that one too. And then also, I don't know if it's the category that this one fits in, but I really, really loved Where the Wildflowers Grow. When we last spoke, for our last episode, I had just talked about how I was reading it, for the arc and I needed it to get done. Well, I did end up finishing it, right? And it was just as much of what I thought it was gonna be. It was everything and more, and it just felt like healing fiction. So I don't know if I just created my own genre of books, but there is just something about books that make you feel life. They make you feel comfort, they make you feel happy, joy, pain, all of the things are wrapped up in one book. It's just something about them, and I have to buy them. Those are an automatic reread for me.
Yeah, those books, I'd
Mhm.
say that that one and maybe the love songs of W.E.B. Du Bois, those books are, like,
Mhm.
very like, they tap into the human part
Mhm.
of that, and, like, that's something that's really
Mhm.
enjoyable to read, like, what's the one we read? Untethered.
Oh, that was a
Very
good one.
much.
Mhm.
It wasn't healing in the way, but it
Mhm.
captured something, the essence of being human, the good and the bad, and it just
Yep.
made you feel, like, you just
Mhm.
feel it in your chest the whole time you're reading it. So I do agree. Those are books that are fun to have. They're good and rereadable when you need something good.
I agree, and it's funny that you mentioned love songs, and it's like you actually read the book, but you didn't read the book, but you need to read the
Yeah.
book, right? This was one of the books that I also said that I was gonna put in our list to recommend. It is just an amazing book, and I can see myself rereading this book. It's just I'm enjoying it.
Yes, it is big, but, I feel like I'll probably get around to it at some point. It's one that I think would be good. When I get in that mood, you know how sometimes I just get in those moods to read books like that.
Mhm.
And so it's nice to have a list to pull from. I might only read 1 or 2 or 3 a year,
Mhm.
but, I'll have them to pull off of when I need it.
And then also you'll have me because I'm gonna tell you that you need to read this book, right?
It nonstop is what you're gonna do. You're
Mhm.
gonna keep telling me nonstop.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to piggyback on yours because I have, fun books that let you, like, escape into them, fantasy books that let you explore new worlds, but also, books that just feel like a warm hug, like they just bring out that heartwarming part,
Mhm,
and there might be a little conflict, but for the most part, they're just good, pleasant, good feeling books, and,
mhm,
I have books like anything from TJ Klune, The House on the Cerulean Sea, or In the Lives of Puppets, or Under the Whispering Door. All these books are so sweet and heartwarming, and they
mhm,
just do something. They're relatable. The characters are relatable and adorable, and it's just something so fun. Like, I
mhm.
look forward to when I think of his books, it makes me wanna go read them because I just feel happy when I'm reading them. And then the other series is Heartstopper, the graphic novel. Watch the show, just soak it all up because there's nothing better than a real love story. It's not
Mm,
there's no sex, there's no none of that. I mean, of course, there's attraction and physical stuff, but it's just
mhm,
so sweet to watch, like, just youthful love in a non-cringy way.
mhm.
So those are the books that I go to. Me and Emily reread Heartstopper at least once a year, every single year. And then this year is going to be the final book in July, and then the movie comes out, I think, either at the end of this year or at the beginning of next year, and then it's done.
I will also agree. I am a sucker for a good love story. Like, it's just something about a book that has a good, wholesome love story to it. And I don't know, it's just something about it. It's just one of those books where, I mean, like you said, it don't have to be all smutty and all that stuff, but it's just something about, like, for example, it's not a book that I would reread, but I could if I needed to. But the Skyland series, just on the top of my head, you got Before I Let Go, Can't Get Enough, and I
Hold
can't
on.
re I can't remember the middle one.
I can't see it from here. This Is
How can
Us.
I Yes. No. This Could Be Us. Boom, there
There
we
it
go.
is.
That's why I'm like, I wanted to say it had something with us, but I couldn't remember what it was.
I was thinking of
But
the show.
that show is good. It's a filler.
Yeah.
But, it's just something about love stories like that. I will reread those, but it's like, I like the books because 'cause they're pretty. You know, they're good to have on the shelf, and I like pretty books. I mean, but those are examples of good love stories, though.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
buy those up. All the
Yes.
recommendations.
Mhm.
You have one more section in this here, I think.
I do. I do have one more section. I feel like it's the lost baby, right? Because I read them, but I don't read them. Not like I used
Yeah.
to. I am so about fiction right now that I still have personal development all over my house, right? In fact, there's one sitting right here, right? I keep them because there's something about having a nonfiction book, and those are one of the ones that you can pick up, the personal development, anything if you're in like the corporate space. For me right now, I'm really big on reading books about leadership because it's not the old style of management, but it's more leading your team and doing things like that. So I've been reading a lot of stuff within that space. And I mean, it's everywhere, all over my house. If I find a good personal development book or anything by Brene Brown, I'm buying it. I'm a sucker. I'm buying it. I love anything with Brene Brown, anything personal development. They have their own shelf in my house. I keep buying
Yeah,
them.
I'd say,
Mhm.
personal development or, continuing education where you're just trying to get more
No,
dangerous in your field or something
no.
like that. Those are books, especially if you're like me, I've very much cemented myself in, so it feels weird to say this, I'm almost
Mhm.
40, but, um, I have a degree in psychology, and I don't do that, you know? I ended up
Why don't I
in
know this?
Oh, really?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I have a psychology degree. I have a bachelor's of science in psychology, and
Okay.
I don't do anything with that. I used it to get through some doors, and here I am now, and I work in the IT adjacent space. I code and write programs and write
Mhm.
reports and different things like that. And um, I think having books on my shelf that I can reference for reference material and things like that,
Mhm.
that's worth the money. Especially because you don't have to spend buku bucks. Like, go
Mhm.
pick it up at half price books because they have a lot of reference material and stuff like
They
that.
do.
So I definitely think those are things, not
Mhm.
necessarily just that personal development space, but personal development in a different way.
Yeah, no. I know that is a new space for me as I am, continuing my education currently, but yeah, I'm gonna have a whole ton of books. That's why I didn't wanna that's why I said no. No.
You're hilarious.
I am gonna have definitely a lot, more books coming up with being in that space. I'm gonna need references. I'm gonna need, all of
Yeah,
those things, and yeah, I'll be buying more books soon.
I know you will. All right, my last one is this is kind of a niche to not necessarily just fantasy, but I know fantasy tends to have these big, huge series, right?
Mhm,
And there's such an investment, but people forget there are some really great standalones.
mhm,
And I think standalones are great because you don't feel the pressure to, "Oh, no, the second book has a different cover than the first," or "It's a
I
different
don't
size, I
care.
got a paperback, a hard." You don't have to worry about that. When it's a standalone,
Mhm,
you like it, you buy the one book, you put it on your shelf. If you wanna buy that special edition, it's only one
mhm,
book. You don't have to worry about buying the whole series in that special edition print. So, some of those books that I have on mine, I actually would die for the special edition for, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
mhm.
I want that special edition with the girl's face with the star, constellation freckles on.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Oh, it is so I'll send it to you. It is beautiful.
I don't think I've ever
Um,
seen that one.
and then I
Hmm.
have a book that I used to recommend to everybody, but,
Mhm.
like, not to you, because you would be it would
Brutal.
be every 10 minutes, you'd be like, "What am I reading?" And I'd be like, "If you don't read that damn book," it's called Piranesi, and I know I've talked about it before,
Mhm. You have.
but it is a character study. There's, like,
Mhm,
3 characters in the whole book, but the world itself can be very confusing. He's basically
mhm,
in this gigantic building that is never ending, endless rooms. The rooms are hundreds of feet into the air. There's these big columns and different art, and it sounds like things are repeating. It feels like things are repeating, but they're not. And so I highly recommend that book because I think what it does really well is match that fiction with the magical realism. And I think that's probably one of the best examples of it. So I would like to recommend that to everybody except for Ashley.
yeah. Yeah, no, we've talked about this. I'm not gonna read that one. Mm-mm.
I think
Nope.
you would be really frustrated with it because there's no plot. It is
Mhm,
completely character driven and it's really confusing if you're
mhm.
not paying attention. So that was Buy It. So now we're on to Borrow It. These are books. Maybe you're not quite sure about an author or
Mhm.
a book in general or a genre if you're new to the genre and you don't know if you want to spend your money on a book. I don't recommend you go racing out there to buy books willy nilly. So this is where the library comes in handy, or
Kindle.
free libraries. No, no, we're not supporting Amazon. But yes, also if you want to try it for cheap, um,
Yeah.
Kindle, Kindle Unlimited if you have it, but Libby
Mhm.
and the other free resources are the best.
Yeah, they are, but if you can buy a book for 1.99, I mean, hey, it's like you're borrowing it.
You are going against the whole purpose of this video. Don't spend money
Oh,
borrowing.
I got a lot of stuff from the library, and I just put it on my Kindle.
Read your part. What do you got?
Thrillers. Alright,
I
thrillers.
can't I was gonna put this on here because I completely
I
agree.
I think once you read a thriller once, you already have the spin. So why do you need to
You're
read it
never
again?
reading it again.
No, because it's like, "Oh, well, maybe I missed this little small minute detail." No, just borrow it from the library, read it once, and then say, "Okay, I read it," or "I listened to it." But I don't feel that I don't feel that there's a need to have a whole entire bookshelf, book room, whatever, full of thrillers because, I mean, are you really gonna pick them up and read them again? The
Yeah, it's
ending
not
doesn't
likely,
change. The
right?
ending doesn't change. You already know the twist, so why do another one?
I mean, that's the same as anything, right? Like fantasy books, you already know the reveals and all the things, but
But
thrillers are kind
fantasy
of hinged on that.
but fantasy books are a little bit different, I think, because those are I feel like when you read a fantasy book, it's easier to miss something. Like, at least for me, I know I will listen to a book, and maybe I'm not all the time actively listening. It's kinda like a passive listen, something in my ear, and then I'm like, "Oh, wait. Oh, that's what's going on right now?" And then, I just keep going, to the next one. But if you pick up the book the second time or the third, some maybe the fourth, you might actually pick up on details that you missed. Like maybe if you did listen to it, maybe you decide to pick it up and read it. Or maybe you decide to do like the dramatized version, the dramatic audio version. Like I find those are more favorable for me, I guess, where I
Yeah.
like to do, like, different formats because I'll pick up on something, especially Mistborn. I need to go back and reread that one. I finished it, though.
Yeah, it took you 8 months. We're not rereading it.
I wanna
Google
reread
it
it.
and then go on to the book 2.
No, I wanna reread it. I feel like I
I
did
can't
miss a
stand
whole
you.
lot of stuff.
Imma choke you through the screen. Took you all that time to read it. Now you're like, "I can't go on to the next one until I reread it." It took you forever.
No, I have the next one. I'm gonna read the next one, but I'm saying this is a series that I could definitely pick up and reread again. But I do have
I would
book
reread
2.
Mistborn.
I have book 2 in my library right now. So in the, Libby. I actually
Yeah,
have the audio on Libby, and I have the book on my Kindle. So I'm all set. I'm ready to read it.
then
I got
start.
11 days to read it.
I swear, gonna knock you out. Alright, on to mine.
Mhm,
Um, like I said earlier, like, if you're new to a genre, like, I'm still relatively new to, fantasy, but I know a lot of people are entering into the fantasy realm, as of
mhm,
lately, and I highly recommend you don't jump in to the big guns. You don't run right into the classics, right? Like, you don't need to run into Lord of the Rings, okay? You don't need to run into Game of Thrones. And I even put on Sanderson Stormlight here
mhm,
because it might turn you off from it because you're like, some of the language in some of these worlds is a little hard to get to. So going with something like Mistborn,
mhm,
because it's accessible. The language is the same. It's not some weird, you don't have to worry about different languages, Elvish and all this other stuff. You don't have to really
mhm,
learn a whole lot of different races of people. There are a handful, but in Lord of the Rings, there's politics to each race. Stormlight, there's this very overarching plot. Game of Thrones, you got
mhm,
all these damn families you got to memorize. They're all cousins and brothers and uncles, and it can be too much, and then you'll find yourself not enjoying it.
mhm,
So don't go in to the big guys. Go into something a little more accessible. One of those standalones where you don't have to worry about this and you can just really enjoy the world building and any
mhm.
kind of magic they have, or something like that. Just something that feels more level minded. So don't pick up don't pick up a Silmarillion, okay, that he wrote in like 1934. It's it's too much.
I actually do agree with that one because I will say that a lot of people, due to, social media, and I mean, at one point when we were reading books, we were just going to the bookstore or the library and picking up books and finding out if you wanted to read the book, right?
Yes.
Now you can just get on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is that you like to go on. There's people talking about books. You can even go on the news now and they're talking about books, So it's like they're everywhere. So a lot of people like to recommend these different fantasy books. And it's like, okay, well, this person says this fantasy book is amazing, but let me go ahead and start reading this book. And you're like, what the heck am I reading?
Yeah.
Right?
Her exact words every time I ask her to read Mistborn.
Yeah. Yeah, I got over it. I got over it.
Yeah.
But it took me a
Yeah.
while to
I'm
kind of
not
figure out
saying
who was what and who was everything. But, you
don't not
know,
saying don't read these books. I do recommend I think if
mhm,
you're going to be a fantasy fan, these are books you
mhm,
need to read at some point, but don't rush out to read them. And if you do, go ahead and just
mhm,
read them and experience them with no pressure to
mhm.
love them by borrowing them at the library or something like
Yeah,
that. So,
I definitely agree. Go to the library. Unless you're like me and you like chunky books, then you go buy them.
unless you're like Ashley who never leaves the house.
I really don't. It's so
Remember
great.
when we used to, guys, I don't know if you know this, but we used to film all of our podcasts at the library
Mhm.
every couple weeks.
Yeah.
And we've not been back since we bought our own equipment, and
No,
it's nice to just do it from home, but
I
I can't believe
know.
we used to go out and do that.
Yeah. In the cold, in the snow, in the rain.
Lugging I had like a giant backpack. You had like 3 bags, all of our equipment
Don't
and all
forget
that
the
stuff, and it's
coffee
like,
and the water cup, 2
"Oh,
cups.
you gotta," and then you gotta go, "Let's go get snacks out of the vending machine," and the vending machine's all broken, the coffee was nasty. That's just
Yeah.
It was an
But the
experience.
library was cool though. It was fun. It was still fun. Maybe one day we'll
It
have to
was.
do a in-person thing that might be kinda cool to try.
It would be fun. It'd be nice to get
Mhm.
back together.
Yeah. Alright, what's our next one?
You.
We both put the same one. I'll let you have that light for that one, but I'll go to my next one since we're already kinda in the fantasy space, but it's more of a pet peeve for me as well. So I put on here the lesser known fantasy books are ones to borrow. So, for example, everyone has these different books like the, Entangled Publishing. Their books are great, they are great, but you also have some books that are not as great as some of the other ones, right? So if you
Yeah.
really are not sure how this book is going to be, I feel like you should get it from the library. And then if you decide that you really like the book afterwards, then go buy it for yourself because it might be something you would want to go back and reread. But some of the books that I have in this space are the books you keep laughing at me about because I buy them because they're pretty, right? Five Broken Blades, the Four Twisted Crowns or Swords or whatever, and then
No.
the three,
Yeah.
yeah, like, that would be something where you would say, "Borrow it," but I'm buying it because I like the covers and I wanna complete the series, right? I still gotta get the last one. But but books like that, when you're not really sure if you're gonna like it,
Yeah.
newer YA fantasy books like, Dragon Curse, I haven't read it yet. It was given to me, which is great, but I haven't read it yet. So I'm just trying to like the ones that are on the top of my mind where you could go and rent them. What's the other one that was big last year? The Devney Perry. She was a big one last year with them. So it's like the ones that you're really not sure of, I think those are the ones you should get from the library because what if you find out you don't like them?
I will piggyback on that, before we go into our last one, but, um, these books there's so many but books that are overhyped, I think,
Mhm,
because of just everything that we have here, but right now, following the trends,
mhm.
every fantasy book that comes out is a romantasy, and it's so it's so tough because not to poop on romantasy, it does get
Mhm.
but here's the problem, it gets repetitive. It's
Yeah.
hard to even tell the books apart. All the characters aren't unique. They're recycling
Mhm,
magic systems and world building, and it's because everybody's trying to fit this mold. And
mhm.
just go rent it from the library.
I
Don't
agree.
don't waste your money on that because there's the series that you got the big guys. You got the Fourth Wings and the Akatars. That's
Mhm,
perfectly fine because those are beloved series. But a dime a dozen romantasy that has the
mhm,
blank of blank and blank and fire and ash and truth and they're just it's nonstop. And I promise you, they're they're not worth putting on the shelves. They're pretty,
mhm.
but like, are you ever going to reread them? Is there anything of substance? A lot of times, there's not.
No.
It's just it's a thinly veiled fantasy world with that's traded in so much world building and magic building for just
Mhm.
spice and romance. And
Yeah.
again, if you want to read a romance, that's fine. And if you want to read a romantasy, that's fine. But not every
Mhm.
one of them is worth the buy.
And, that is very true. That was something else that I was trying to think of because I remember I was trying to figure out books that I wanted to read from the year, and we talked last year, and I was like, I really think I'm done with romantasy. I think it's just I don't find the books enjoyable. There are some books that I do enjoy to read, like When the Moon Hatched. That was a good one. I did enjoy Fourth Wing. Iron Flame took me forever and 1,000 years to finish, but however, I read
Did
it, right? And it's just something about those books where they're good for a moment, but then if you keep reading them, like you said, it's kind of like the same thing. Like, I don't even remember what was the book we read for book club? And I was like, "I'm not enjoying this."
Night in the Moth.
Yeah, I didn't like that one.
I did, and again, I don't think like to
Mhm,
me, Rachel Gillig, right, who
mhm.
wrote The Night in the Moth and my beloved series, Emily's almost done with Two Twisted Crowns.
Yes,
Um, the Shepherd
that
King
is a good
duology.
one. Mhm,
I instantly wanted to check that out, and I did really, really enjoy it. It wasn't as good as One Dark Window, but, like, I
Mhm.
really could see myself picking up more books like that in this romanticy space, but that's
Yeah.
because Rachel does a good job. She
Mhm.
balances,
Yeah.
the spicy, steamy scenes with and the romance in general with real
Mhm.
world building and unique magic systems, and she's a
Yeah.
fantasy writer, and that is not the case with, a lot of these books that come out here.
I think it's a season that we're into with this whole
For sure.
romanticy thing. It's because it's popular right now. So because it's popular and it's all over TikTok, people want to put their stuff out there in the same space because they know they're going to get that, you know, attention necessarily, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't have any plans on reading any romanticy anytime soon. So,
Well, we'll figure
hmm
that part out because I'm reading the Night and the
hmm
Moth sequel that comes out in September, so
yeah, that's the Nav and the something
you still saying that wrong. It's Knave.
Nav Nave. I don't know if I'll read it,
I keep
but
thinking knob like doorknob. Um,
uh, that's just how it just looks like it just I don't know. It just looks that it would be that way. But
you're
the only
hilarious.
one that's on my radar is When the Moon Hatched, the second one, The
The
Falling
Falling
Dragons.
Ballad of Falling Dragons.
Yeah, because last time I call it Falling Moons.
Yes. It was the Moonfall series though, so you were close.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But that's
So
the only one I have on my radar. Other than that,
I do want to read that one. I think I'm going to read When the Moon Hatched next month because I'd like to
mhm.
do maybe or the month after that so that I can do the next one the next month because I think it comes out in May now.
Yeah,
Oh,
tangent, incoming tangent, right?
oh boy.
These books that are coming out every year, like where it's boom, 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 those you borrow from the library.
Not always. Let me tell you.
Yeah. These books are coming
Sanderson
out fast.
Sanderson has decided, and I like so I follow Sanderson's weekly updates, and
Mhm.
he wrote some of his earlier books in succession where he was
Mhm.
consecutively writing them. So when one was finished and getting edited and published, he was already working on the second one. And
Mhm.
so Ghost Bloods, which is Mistborn Era 3, is set to come out in 27, 28, 29. He's doing all three books a year apart. So
But
it
that's
can be done.
Sanderson. But that's Sanderson.
You're not wrong, but also some of these people have been I've said this before as well. I said the same
Mhm.
thing about um Iron Flame. It came out like 7 months after Fourth
Yeah.
Wing. It was
I
just
think they
too
were like
fast.
written beforehand. That's the only thing that I
They
can
were
think
written
of.
beforehand and then
Yeah.
she polished them. I don't know about
Mhm.
polished, but that's what supposedly she did after getting the
Mhm.
publishing deal. So, okay, I'm a little less skeptical now,
Borrow it.
but borrow it is accurate. It's accurate. Our final thing,
Bury it.
listen, we're gonna no, we skipped over one. We got to go back, and
Oh,
this is a
yeah,
borrow
we
it
do, we do, we do, okay.
because we don't want to support certain people. Okay, maybe you got a problematic author in your genre. Okay, I've got a
Incoming
couple.
tangent.
J.K. Rowling is a turf, and she's a truly awful human being. Who doubles down on all of the awful things she says, and she doesn't deserve a single dollar of what she has. So borrow them books. I got them over here. I'll loan them to you. We're not giving her a single extra dollar. Okay. I want you to VPN that new HBO show when it comes out, and you don't give that any love. I want, want you to pirate it. I want you to just slam it in her face. Same thing, Neil Gaiman. I know it's not final yet, but he's just such a creep. And the way he's treating his controversy right now is really, truly pathetic. Like he looks guilty. He sounds guilty. It's awful. So come borrow my book. Go. There are so many Neil Gaiman books at half price books in Goodwill
I
because people
believe
have
it.
been trading them in,
Mhm,
and I wholly support that. So borrow it. Don't buy it. Don't bury it
mhm,
because I think there are some great stories. Harry Potter is a great story. It could use some. It could use an updating. Some
mhm,
some of the stuff doesn't hold up, but I think it is a beloved series, and for good reason. I do think the world that she built, the Wizarding World, is incredible, and everybody loves Harry Potter and the world that
mhm.
they built. But fuck J.K. So
No censors?
Nope, can't stand her.
Oh my goodness. Well, I let you have that one because clearly, you're the
I have
filterless
feelings.
one. I'm the, sunshine and rainbows, that kind of thing,
Grumpy
right?
sunshine over here.
Yeah, no, I just said it was just one of the series for me to borrow because I don't feel like I need to have all those books. Like that's not something I'm going to go back and reread. I do like that they're coming out with more content, but I'm still not going to purchase or buy. It's just something I just don't feel like I need to purchase.
Yeah,
Even like merchandise and things like that. I feel like it's more of a popularity thing to like live in that space and spend money in that space. If I was younger, me, right, maybe 5, 10 years ago, I would buy all the books. I would buy all the books because I wanna buy all the books. I didn't matter. I would go to Barnes and like, "All right, Barnes, spend 200, $300 on books." But now it's like, okay, I have responsibilities and I still have books from those moments that are still unread, you
I
know?
was gonna say we still got those books.
Yes, I have books that I haven't even opened yet. So it's like, I think now I am definitely a more conscious reader because the books that I'm gonna buy are the books that I spoke about previously for buying. Everything else, borrow it. Borrow it. Save your money. Put your money into something else. Invest your money. Save your money. The economy is crap right now. Do something
But
like
don't
that
go on your
instead.
personal development tangent.
I'm not going on a personal development tangent, but everyone should be saving their money in a good space. I'm just saying.
And we move on now. We're gonna now listen. You thought I was rough with that last one. I don't think we're gonna be any nicer with Bury It, but these are books
Don't
that
get
just
us
weren't
banned.
aren't they're not worth in our opinions. They're
Mhm.
not worth your time or your money. Okay? If you must, just borrow it, but like I don't even see the need to do some of these. And a lot of this, they're not
Mhm.
books. A lot of mine are like things being done in books and tropes and genres specific stuff. So I will
Mhm.
kick it off because I'm moving out of this space. So this is from me as a 38-year-old dude. Like I don't read a lot of YA anymore,
Mhm.
especially YA fantasy because it's just dated. I love that they're still writing new YA fantasy that, in my opinion, feels very similar to some of the old stuff I read, but I remember how it made me feel when I read it when I was younger. And I want
Mhm.
that for the next generation. They
Mhm.
can't just rely on the books that were written for us all those years ago. But the characters are so annoying, and the decisions they make are just foolish. And a lot of these tropes and things that are there just don't resonate with me at my age anymore. So I might sound like an
Mhm.
old fogey, but YA fantasy novels, bury it. I'm out.
I don't think I have very many YA fantasy novels, but I will say that I have to disagree on that one because Legendborn. Legendborn is
I'm
YA
gonna read
fantasy.
Legendborn.
Mhm.
Again, there are outliers, but
Okay. As a whole.
as a
Okay, that makes
whole,
sense. Okay.
every time I end up reading one, like I think Saba Tahir's the In the Ember and the Ashes series, I think it's
I
YA.
think those are YA as well too.
I do
Mhm.
wanna read it though. I'm very intrigued. I think it's gonna be well done. But a
Mhm.
dime a dozen YA novels walking through Barnes and just grabbing one randomly off the shelf, I don't
Yeah,
think it's
no.
gonna hit.
No. I think those, if anything, you would move some of those to the borrow it space.
Yes.
Unless, I mean, you're a sucker for a sprayed edge or a pretty cover, because that's where
But
you're gonna find them.
I gotta challenge you on this a little bit because I'm pretty sure you said while reading Oathbound, you were annoyed with one of the characters. So
Yeah,
they're just annoying sometimes because 'cause you're like, "Why are
yeah.
you making these dumb decisions?" But
But at the same time, I mean, yeah,
no leg to stand on. I was coming for you.
I know. I do still enjoy Legendborn, still the Children of Blood and Bone series. That's definitely a space that's YA.
Yeah.
Ember and Ashes, that's one. I feel like oh, the book that I haven't read yet, The Dragon Curse, that is YA fantasy.
Is that what's that? Is that an Asian inspired cover?
Oh.
No, that's a different one. There's one that's Dragon something, and it's like a greenish cover, and I wanna say there's like a Asian man or a dragon or something, and it looks like they're fighting. Maybe that's not Dragon Curse, that might be something else, but,
No,
it
that one's
intrigued
not
me.
Dragon Cursed. I know there's one, I don't know if it's YA or not, but something about, like, Poet Impress or something. I don't think
Oh, no, we
that's
had that
YA
one right
though.
there. I bought it for Emily.
Okay. No,
It's romantic.
it's funny that we oh, man. Alright, maybe I won't. But, I think with YA fantasy, I wouldn't say I would bury it. I think I would just go with caution. Be cautious, I think is the best way. Go into it with a I'm reading a book for a young adult, something that someone in that space is gonna resonate with better. Like, I know one thing for me, like, with Bree, she's like, "Oh, but, so and so, I gotta do this, and my dad and my mom," and, she's got that going for her, but at the same time, that's what a lot of those kids have at that same time. They wanna make
Yeah.
parents proud and things like that. So, yeah, I see it. But I'm gonna have to say I'm just go with caution on the YA fantasy. I won't bury it, but be cautious.
I'm certainly not buying it.
No.
I have some middle grade books that are on my radar, like, I went to the Cosby S.A. Cosby event and,
Mhm.
um, got the book I didn't even know I was gonna get to be gifted for free, but, it is
Mhm.
the sequel to him, S.A. Cosby and Questlove's Rhythm of Time series, and if for nothing else than the fact that this man is so funny and so
Mhm.
likable and
Mhm.
everything about him, um, I really enjoyed hearing him speak. He's just a
Mhm.
great guy. I love Questlove. I love The Roots.
Mhm.
All of that set aside, I think there's some things in there that I want to experience because I'm excited. I think
Mhm.
I'm close to getting my son to agree to read it with me.
Okay.
Um,
That's a good
he's not
thing.
a chapter book person. I just
Mhm.
brought home 15 manga for him to read. He'll have done this week. He reads,
Oh,
but he doesn't
wow.
love chapter books.
Okay. And see, a lot of kids like manga. I know when I was working in the aftercare program, years and years and years ago. It feels like it was a decade ago, right? But that was definitely something that they loved. We would go to the library and they'd be looking for manga. And
Yeah,
then the librarian would say, "Hey, there's some manga that you shouldn't be reading, you
you
know?"
can't. Yeah,
Yeah, there's some
yeah.
manga that, and they're like, "Oh, well, let's do this one." I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not the one you're supposed to read." So, yeah.
I try to keep him on that where I
Mhm.
he's 12.
Mhm.
He's getting into that point where I'm letting him read, like, the teen stuff,
Mhm.
teen plus occasionally, like, with conversation and with context
Mhm.
and, like, understanding so he doesn't have unrealistic expectations of things, but,
See,
um,
that's good.
he
That's good.
loves manga. Quick 2-second tangent. The reason we have
1, 2.
comics and graphic novels at the library is
Mhm.
because of Neil Gaiman.
Mhm.
And that really upsets me because he's done a lot for the industry. So Neil Gaiman, when he wrote Sandman and the graphic novels,
Mhm.
he wanted those in libraries. He wanted those accessible to people who couldn't afford them. And
Mhm.
he worked with a lot of different organizations. So he didn't do it alone or anything, but like they went to Congress. They did all of the hearings to try and get libraries to be allowed to carry these things, graphic novels and accessible things for comics and different stuff like that. And that's why we have those in libraries today. And I think it's one of the
Mhm.
main reasons my son is a ferocious reader. He only he only reads those things, and I'm just happy he's
Mhm.
reading something. So
I think that's the good thing is that he's reading something. So the current big problem in America, I'm not gonna tangent, I'm not going to. But kids are not reading.
these damn kids,
They're interested in tablets and electronics and games. And when you really think about when we were growing up, we didn't really have computers. We definitely didn't have a tablet growing up.
no,
It was, "Hey, let's get in this car or let's walk to the library," and you would go to the library and you would get books because it was either that or maybe a TV show or a movie, but that was how we grew up. We didn't have all these electronics and everything right front and center. It wasn't until we got a little bit older where we had the super slow dial-up AOL, where you had to
I'm
say,
gonna
"I need to use the phone."
I'm gonna try and find a filter to put over your face and make you look like an old lady. Back in my day, but that's how it
It's
feels.
it's so true though, because, like, the generation like, our kids are just so techy. And,
They
like,
are.
perfect example, I just bought, When the Sidewalk Ends by Shel
Yes.
Silverstein because it was one of my favorite books growing up, and it really got me into that so-called poetry space,
Yeah.
and I bought it for him, and he, like, chuckled for a couple, and then here comes tablet, and I'm like, "Ugh,"
Yeah.
you know?
Give it time, be patient, give it grace. It takes a long time to learn to
No,
love those things.
no, I want it now. I need a
I know.
reader next to me now, now, now,
I tried
now.
that for years, and Lucas never took to it, so finally I met him in his
Mhm,
space, and I just
mhm,
did my best to buy him the books and the things like that.
mhm.
Like, they go to the stupid Scholastic Book Fair thing. I
Yeah,
tell them, "I'll give you money, but you have to buy a book." And he'll
mhm,
buy the most pointless thing you can possibly find that's technically a book, but,
uh-huh,
like, it's not a book. It's like a nonfiction thing, which again, he's
mhm.
reading, it was educational,
It's still
but,
it's still a book. It's still a book. It's something about the Scholastic Book Fair, which, by the way, is super expensive. Like,
yes.
I don't remember Scholastic Book Fair being that much
No,
money.
I could walk in there with, like, $7 and walk out of there with at least a couple things. Nowadays,
Yeah,
25 bucks and he comes home with, like, a pencil and a poster and 1 book.
yeah, yeah. If even a book, because now they have, like, the chapter books and things like that, and those are, like, 15 bucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's expensive.
Mhm. It is.
We tangented.
Library. That's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, what are you bearing?
Dark romance. Dark romance.
Listen,
Why?
for the dark romance girlies, we're not here for you, okay? Don't come for us. But
No, but why is it
no,
I mean, I'm sorry. I cannot. I cannot. I mean, I cannot. Just next.
you know what? I don't disagree because it's not for us, but, like, it's just the same kind of thing where it's like, this is like with dark romances, it's almost like they try to push the envelope of what they can do to the more extreme. And so then it's just shock
Mhm.
value and things like that. So I completely
It's
agree.
just
I'm with you.
cringe. It's just cringy all the way around. Some of the things that I see where people are, like, talking about some of the stuff on um, Facebook and TikTok, and I don't really go too much into Bookstagram, but definitely like with TikTok in this space and some of the stuff that they're saying, I'm like, why are you comfortable reading that? Like, how does
Listen,
that? I just don't. I'm sorry. No, let me just
I,
stop. Okay,
I will
next.
challenge both of us because I read horror, so
Hmm.
I don't have a leg to stand on. But I do believe our man S.A. Cosby burned a man alive. Okay, so
But that's not dark romance. We can take this
correct.
offline. We can take.
Don't corporate speak me. We'll circle back on that. Um, no, I'm just saying there's some people who
Oh
enjoy it.
my
And look,
gosh.
I'm not here for your trauma, but it ain't
No,
for
this
me.
is this
Bury it.
is a side tangent that we won't bring to the podcast. But I mean,
That's funny.
some of the stuff that I have heard, why?
I
Why are we
know.
reading it?
I love
Like,
we watch
there is a
Larry and
difference.
she's hilarious.
There is a difference between dark romance and like the stuff that used to be back in the day, like Zane and like erotica or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
Like, there is a difference. This dark romance stuff? No. Okay, go on.
Bury it.
Go
All right.
bury it.
I
I'm so
I got a good one. Um and this isn't new, but male authors writing female perspectives. It's not
mhm.
done well very
No,
often.
no,
It's like the things that they think, so it's like a man trying to put himself inside a woman's brain, and this is
that's
how a man would
awful.
think, and it just doesn't make sense. So, like, you're running, and a lot of times the this is how a male author would write. It's like she was running and her back began began to get tired because her boobs were too big. And you're like, that's not something that a woman thinks about or needs to think out loud, or they're just so cringy and so it's full of misogyny and a lot of
It's
rage
awful.
against women. So, male authors, if you don't do it well, just don't do it. Bury it.
As a woman, bury it. It's awful. All right. Got one
You got
more.
one more?
I
Go for it.
can't stand this one. So I did a trope. And it's just something about this trope that is just cringe to me. And I don't know why. But I can't stand fake dating tropes, right? I feel like we're gonna need a separate episode on Bury It. I mean, I feel like this needs a part 2 because I was like, I have to stop here. But I can't stand fake dating tropes and fake marriage tropes. It is
Yeah.
just something about those books to me that are just so ick. I don't know, but I don't like them. If it says fake dating, I'm like, no.
I don't read a lot of romance, so I can't
Mm-mm.
jump into that, but it doesn't intrigue me to think about as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
um,
no.
yeah, for sure. All right, my last
Yeah,
one, and then
no.
we can wrap this thing up. And I think everyone will agree here. We're gonna bury this, and we're gonna leave it in early 2026. We're gonna
Caleb is
stop
bearing
trusting.
this. Caleb
We're
is
gonna
bearing
stop
this.
trusting TikTok. Okay, just blindly trusting TikTok because thousands of people are talking about this book.
Mhm,
It's hyped up. What happens is, I'm not saying everybody, but so many people
mhm,
get caught up in the fact that it's trendy and it'll get clicks and views, so they
mhm,
talk about the book. Sometimes they don't even read the damn thing. Sometimes
mm-mm,
they only read it for the clout. Don't trust those types of reviews as much as, find your one reviewer that you truly trust that's doing
mhm,
doing the work and reading the things. But just as a whole, you can search the book on TikTok and it'll show you hundreds and hundreds of videos. And
mhm.
there's a lot of people who are just talking about it. They're not really analyzing it. They're just kind of like 5 stars, this wrecked me, blah 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 blah. And you're like,
Oh, that's
did
so
you even read the
annoying.
damn thing?
That's so annoying. But I will also say that there's some people like me that I just don't do really good talking about a book, especially like on a camera. It's just something for me where I feel like I'm going to get too summary or too spoilery or something. Like, I don't know. Me and explaining books just don't go very well. So I might be one of those people that's like, hey, this book, 6 stars. Next clip.
We have 20 episodes 23 episodes that would prove
Uh-huh.
you wrong. You are
I
getting
think
much
I am
better.
I think I am terrible at it. Oh my
No.
goodness. Do you know how many drafts I have in my phone because I was like that video was recorded terrible.
Look, it takes practice, but, like,
Mhm.
I don't think it's because you don't you didn't read the book and you just had the surface level opinion of it. I
Mhm.
think it's because I think there's a little bit of you that just gets nervous about the end product, and I say you, but I
Mhm.
haven't even started my BookTube page because I'm very uncomfortable behind the camera if I'm not looking at you, talking to you. It's like I'm talking to you. That's what each of our episodes is.
Right. So
But
therefore, I mean, maybe we just have the personal YouTube where I can sit
listen,
in and cover my camera. I mean,
you're just gonna do the voice. If you could do a hobby, have you seen the people who do a hobby? So their hands are
yes.
visible and then they talk
Uh-huh.
over it, they voice it over? I could do that.
But I mean, then
Not
you
that I
could
want
just
anybody to see my hands, but
but you could just have like a stack of books. You know how many people just literally have like stack of books? And that's another thing we need to bury it. Okay, we are gonna need a part two because
you're
I,
hilarious.
I feel the tangent. Like I feel it. Okay. This is not on my list, but I have to put this on here. Okay.
Uh-oh, ad hoc.
People people that have like booktubes or book Instagrams or things like that that don't have a face on it. One, that makes me nervous because they don't have faces. Two, I mean some people can't, but however, keep going, right? Two, when you use like your old timey bedroom sheets, right? And you have like you haven't seen these, I need to send you them.
The
There are
fuck
just
are
like
you watching?
But it's seriously
No.
like where people would just like have the camera down, like looking down, right? And they have like this stack of books and they're like, these are the best books ever, right? And it's just all text and background noise. And they're literally just taking the books and pushing them off to the side. But it's like it's on like their bed. You can tell it's a bed. They didn't add a fancy book comforter or anything like that. It is literally just bedroom sheets that they have. And
Y'all, I should
I
have
can
stopped her. I didn't know where she was going. I was curious, but
oh,
she went there.
that is a barrier for me because it's just like at least if you're gonna do that, get a pretty background, or I don't know. I'm done. We need another
S-
episode.
I don't know. We should do a. I've seen people do on BookTube
Mhm.
those like no hold back opinions
Mhm.
on things where
This
they
is
pick a
one.
topic and they just beat it.
This
That was
is
this half
one.
this episode. So
I mean, we need one all of like book talk. We just need to go there. I think that might be our next episode where we go in and
we'll see.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna hush now.
this was fun. This is funny. I enjoyed this. And
This
as
was
much
fun.
as before we planned everything out, you were like, let's just not plan. Let's just talk about it. We kind of
Uh-huh.
did that. We
Yeah, we
kind of
did.
just
See,
let
I
it flow
told
naturally.
you. I told you, and you're like, no, no.
I mean,
Tell you.
I planned out the things I wanted to say a little bit, but um I
I
can't
put a
just.
lot of stuff that I didn't put in there. And
Do you
I actually
remember
said,
our flush the format episodes? They get off the rails quick.
but we would have stayed on track because we had categories this time.
No, if we didn't pay attention, listen, we can tangent the whole time. I don't even know why we try to plan out things. We should just get on here and start talking and see what an episode comes
I'm
out.
telling you, that's why next
Emily just
one.
shook her head no.
We need to go into the whole we're doing an episode of TikTok. All the things like the ick. Maybe we'll call it book talk icks or something. I don't know. We're gonna put something on
She's
there.
she's spitballing, but she's tired, y'all. We're not gonna hold her to it. But
I have homework I have to do.
that's fair.
Yeah. But no, we're gonna do something. We need to do something because I feel like I have a lot more that I need to say about book talk icks. And I'm gonna send you the one. I have it on my thing. I'm gonna send it to you,
I'm
and you'll
so
see what I'm
interested to
talking
see this.
about.
I
Mhm.
haven't I don't spend a lot of time. I actually deleted TikTok.
Mhm.
Um but you know, I don't spend a whole lot of time on there. I am on Instagram Reels a lot, so I
Mhm.
do see similar stuff. But I don't think I can ever talk about like a ratty bed sheet. But uh, I'm interested. Please send it to me.
And I'm pretty sure Bookstagram is where I've seen them.
Send it.
It's coming.
All right. Well, this was fun, and again, everybody, they're just our opinions. Don't be offended. If you're like, I can't believe Ashley doesn't like fake dating. Okay, if it gets you all ruffled
I
up, calm it
found
down.
one. I found
Oh
one.
Lord, she
I'm
already
sending
found
it
one.
to you now. See how
All right,
quick it
folks.
just pops up. It's
That's
terrible.
a
You're gonna be
problem.
like,
Your
oh
algorithm
gosh.
thinks you want to see people's weird bedsheet book reviews. Oh, bedsheet book reviews. Man, that's good. Just put a bedsheet up in the back.
For the next one.
Okay, we're getting unhinged.
Yeah.
Emily's staring at me from the side. She's telling me to cut it. She's
Oh,
like,
this
cut.
was so much fun. This was so
Yes, it
much
was.
fun. Yeah, this was a good one. Good pick.
All right. Well, we get a little break, Ashley. We got 2 weeks until we got to film again. So we
Don't
got a
we
little
have
time.
our don't we have our book club one coming up?
I don't know. We haven't decided whether we're going to do a real live show or not. Let's talk about that offline.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
I feel you. All right. Well, this was fun, everybody. Thanks for watching. Until next time.
Happy reading.
Bye.